Welcome back to ALPB Roundup. I'm Ryan, and I'm here. This is a video that I've been teasing for a while. I've been talking about I think there was like a month left in the season. I kind of started talking about something like this, about some changes to the ALPB Roundup channel and the social platforms and all that. I just kind of threw it out there on Twitter just for the sake of some discussion and just to let you know I was thinking about something and wanted to hold it till the end of the Atlantic League season. I knew that for sure, and now we are here. Congratulations again to the Barnstormers. And I've been thinking, just to get toward things, for a few months now about the future of this channel, and I've decided on its future, and that future begins tonight. So welcome to that party. A little later than I meant to. I meant to have this video posted about 15 minutes ago, but work had other ideas, so we're back at it. In case you don't know, I love ALPB Roundup. It can be difficult, it can be stressful, it can be just such a headache to maintain, to keep up with, to decipher what's going on like the weird game day and YouTube feeds that we have, to pull data from, to follow up with stories. It's crazy, but these past couple years have been awesome, and this ALPB Roundup has been in a weirdly overdramatic way, my baby. And by 2 years, I do mean 3. It's just 2 seasons. If you recall, I started this thing January of 2020, which was not ideal. I started, if you don't know, started January of 2020. Basically hated my job and just needed something to entertain myself. And I found my way into a couple Indy ball games. Always been a lifelong baseball fan, but never went to Indy ball games. And then in 2019, late 2019, caught a couple games, Somerset, York in particular, Lancaster game actually as well, 3 in 3 weeks. So I was hooked pretty quickly. My, at the time, fiance, current day, no, not even, I think we were just dating. We were just dating at the time. Wow, I'm married now. Wow. The things ALPB Roundup has seen. But I was just hooked, and it lived in my brain for a few months, and then New Year's came around, and I kicked off ALPB Roundup, and I didn't cover a game for 16 months because there was no 2020 season. But the past couple years have been very fun. Year 1, things really blew up and got crazy. I got a job with a team, and then I didn't. Those of you who've been following along followed that dumpster fire. But through it all, man, ALPB Roundup has been really fun, and I've really enjoyed it. A lot of things have worked really well, better than it should. A lot of things haven't worked, and I've learned from that. I've learned from all of it, the good and the bad. But here's what I've become more and more certain of. I love Indy ball, and yes, I want to call it Indy ball because partner league is stupid, and affiliated versus unaffiliated is stupid. Because if I'm honest, I'd rather have an Indy ball team in my city than a minor league team full of guys who don't care. Yeah, everyone's just trying to get to the show, but at least at the end of the day, the team on the field is trying to win the game. The baseball operations department is trying to win, and they're not just trying to get dudes out of town. They're there for your city. The name on the jersey, I love it. I love that it's a throwback to small towns. It's the purest form of baseball in my head. The small towns, the players doing all they can to make MLB clubs notice them, playing to win, not just to develop. There's so much. The mix of the veterans, the young guys, the crazy stories, the guys playing Hi Bryce Hensley, shows moving starts up to avoid a concert date because they're playing a show. Guys who've been away from baseball for years and went through a lot of personal turmoil and growth just to come back and then lead the Atlantic League in home runs and find themselves in AAA the next year. It's just unbeatable, man. Indy ball's the best. The fact that you got all this full front offices just doing all they can to keep teams, players coming in and out, always looking to improve. No stone left unturned. I love it. Everything about it, I think, is just magical. And I'm thrilled with Indy ball. I'm thrilled with the direction of Indy ball. I'm thrilled with the growth of it, how much Indy ball has improved over the few years I've been covering it. I love Indy ball. I love ALPB Roundup. But if we're talking about the things I know, I also know that despite my love for it, ALPB Roundup, I think, has run its course. After lots of thinking about the Indy ball landscape, the way things are going, reading the tea leaves sort of thing, what's coming up, what's coming down, and I've decided that ALPB Roundup will, moving forward, be known as Indy Ball Nation, because I think I want to take a wider approach to things. It's a little tough being handcuffed to like just a small league when like you're looking at the American Association. They got a lot of fun stuff going on, and the Pioneer League is super weird and fun. It has cool stuff going on, and the USPBL is a weird league I've always been super involved, like interested in. I just never got a chance to cover it. But then like all of a sudden you got like Donald Goodson showing up from the USPBL, from the Unicorns, chucking 99 in the Atlantic League. Like, where do we find this mutant interesting stuff going on over there? And it's like out of my purview. I think that's a bummer because there's all these good stories all across the country. Interesting data. Love the data. You know I love it. I love a weird number. I love a stat. I love a stat that I'll take an hour to find, to dig up, to back check, that I tweet, and one person likes it, and it's Rob Pimsner. Just because he's like, dude, I just feel for you. Indy Ball Report, you'll chuck out a like. I respect that. But like everyone else is like, dude, get help. And yeah, fair. But there's so much more out there. And I, looking at the direction of things, I want to be involved in all of it. I want to meet new people. I want to cover new teams. I want to dig deep into every aspect of this thing. I want to not only do projections for 1,000 players, I want to put my head through a wall and just saying it. That was stupid. I'm already realizing this could be a bad idea. But I also want to follow, stories for 1,000 players. And I want to do YouTube videos about like the history of Indy Ball. The Indy Ball goes back forever. Indy Ball's older than MLB. It's some weird thing. You think MLB history is weird? No. Indy Ball history, chaos. You thought it was weird that Ricky Henderson played for the Newark Bears? No. Babies. It's so much weirder than that. Frees us up to talk about it. It felt weird to cover that from ALPB Roundup's perspective, talking Atlantic League baseball, but talking about a league that hasn't existed since 90 years before the Atlantic League. I like the fact that we can open that up a little bit and really shine a light on what I think is the best of baseball in this country. So, yeah, I've decided that I want to bring that sort of shared focus on stats and stories and nerdy stuff and funny stuff to as many leagues and teams as I can possibly get my hands and my eyes on. I think we could have a lot of fun with it. So what does this look like? Great question. I'm still figuring out, full disclosure, but in the off season, actually now I'm already doing it. I'm revamping and expanding my projection model. As you guys know, I'm all into the projections and the stats, things like that. So got to expand it. League equivalencies are a whole thing where I'm going to get into. I'll do a whole video probably on that, which is another fun thing I can now really do. Talking about just what it's like that too, general indie ball things, comparing leagues, the fun stuff like that. Let's do that. But I'm working on the new math essentially of how that's going to all work and being able to cover projections for players from different backgrounds and things like that. The guys coming into the Pioneer League are from very different places than a lot of the Atlantic League guys. I mean, don't even get me started on some of the dudes you're seeing in the Empire, all that stuff. So that's what we're looking at. And then, you can expect the usual banter, the news, the updates on the former ALPB Roundup accounts, which will be slowly rebranding into the Indy Ball Nation accounts. So, don't need to refollow anything. You got it. I'll let you know what's going on. But beyond that, maybe some added videos like I've been talking about. However, once the season starts, twice a week, I have decided that we'll be doing a YouTube show next season. We'll be doing 2 days, probably going to be, I'm feeling Monday, Friday, maybe Monday, Thursday. Monday, Friday. Take that Monday off day. That's right. I was thinking Monday, Friday. And then we can do a weekend preview on Friday, which I think will be fun. And we'll look at all the action. We'll look at, we'll burn through the quick updates, what's going on with the standings or whatever. But then we'll look at some fun, weird stats. We'll look at some fun, weird stories. There's always going to be a weird game. It's always going to be that one that's meanwhile in the football Pioneer League, Grand Junction won 24-21 over someone. It's just sick. It's great. Let's pay attention to it. Let's have some fun. We'll talk about it all. We'll cover it all. I think it'll be a cool new direction because let's do some interviews. Let's have guests on. Let's do some really fun stuff that I haven't really been able to do in the weird short form stuff. And also the super interrupted coverage I tend to do because life is crazy. And without going too long and into too much detail, you guys don't need to know. Over time, we're going to really structure this thing out and add to it. But we're going to start small. We're going to start with a lot of projection stuff. Hey, here's who's signing. Here's what his projections look like. Little things like that. You'll see things change slowly over time as I figure out exactly how I like things to look and how I want things to roll. I want things to look different for each league. But bro, don't got that time on my hands. So it's got to be the same vein. yeah, I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but yeah, in the meantime, content's going to keep rolling out. You're going to see a lot of good stuff from us, and you're going to see it sort of evolve into all of our fresh new Indie Ball Nation. Same colors. I like the teal and the deep blue. Cool vibe. So not everything's changing, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good direction. This is all something that I'm very excited about, man. I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. I think we're going to get a lot of new people involved, and I think people are going to, the crazy vibe ALPB Roundup that I think a lot of people have enjoyed. Some people haven't. Tough. I think over the years, look, I'm doing this thing in a doorway in some old house because we've moved 4 times in the past year. I'm going to got a new house, by the way. Come along, Reading, Pennsylvania. Shout out the Fightins. Gonna have a new studio in that. Check it. Maybe by opening day, but neither here nor there. Man, have a lot of fun. I think we should bring this to more people. So we're gonna bring it to maybe Savannah Banana Styles to hit the road, yeah. So we'll expand the footprint a little bit, and we'll take it to Indie Ball Nation. With all that said, man, follow the channels, follow social media, all that. Thank you all so much, though. I don't get to say it enough. I have hundreds of people who just regularly interact with ALPB Roundup, which is weird, because we're weird, and they're weird, and I guess that's cool. It's been a hell of a 3 years. I'm very excited for what's next. And I guess that's it for ALPB Roundup, and welcome to Indie Ball Nation. Let's have fun.
I may not have a lot, but I love what I got. A 4x4 and a good fishing spot. I hope this time my card won't decline.